Hey, welcome to my page. So I got here and this jack was already here, and so I mean it looked kind of iffy, but I went with it. We're gonna go ahead and take this off. On the back of this caliper, we've got those 18mm bolts back there, so grab you one of these pry bars and pull back slow but hard. You're trying to relieve the tension on this, so when you put it back on, it's easy for install. You can pause this video at any time, so if you miss something, you can rewind it and go back. That's what I like about YouTube. See, look at that, nice and hard. Reach in there, boom, it's loose. Then you can drop those off the back of there. I'm basically looking at the video and talking to you while I'm doing that, so it looks like I'm not out of breath, but believe me, you'll be out of breath if you have random tools sitting around. You're trying to use what you can to get this done. These bolts are on really super tight. Not a big deal. Okay, when you take this off, of course one of your brake pads might fall out or something. I had to put my finger there and hold it, but not a big deal. Set it right there. Keep it out of your way. Yeah, I played this music for the boring moments. There it is, pointing at it. What the hell's going on? Yeah, so you put it up there so your brake line basically won't have any tension on it. Alrighty. Now, right here is access to the axle nut. Now, I use this little poker because I was able to actually pop a tiny little hole in there to help me get it started on the way out. But there's a very, very small groove to work with. And I had to tap that just to get a screwdriver there to pop it off. Takes a little bit of playing with that to get that to come off. Now the company should have left a little groove there so you can put something in there and just twist it and help pop the cap off. But they didn't want a hole there so water won't get in there. I totally understand that. Wouldn't be a bad idea just to throw some grease on that hole. Grease is used to keep things from getting wet or rusty. There you go, I got it to move there, and then I used a regular screwdriver after I popped a couple of little holes in it, twisted it, just kept twisting it. Finally it opened up and popped off. And if you're replacing this bearing, that cap won't fit on the new ones that I've picked up at AutoZone. So a good thing for you to do is get some pliers on the inside of that cap and just bend it back when you put this back, and it'll tighten back up for you. So just bend the inside outwards and you can get it to fit back on to cover that up. These retainers, no big deal. You can just grab that rotor, and from the right and left side of where they're sitting, keep bouncing the rotor back and forth towards you, and these things will come right off. But I kind of wanted to just take my time with them, show you there's other ways to do it. And here's one way: you can just unscrew it. No big deal. It only takes a second. When you put these back on, you can set it there and find a socket that's just big enough to go over the stud right there. Set that in place and tap the socket with the retainer lock there, and it'll just go all the way back to the end of the rotor and help hold that rotor still. It's important for that because what you want to do is you want to stick the caliper back on, and you don't want it bouncing around, so you can get that back bolt on. See, just give it a good yank. There it is. Now right here Oh, I can feel the looseness here. It's crazy. And it was grumbling, making a lot of noise. Sounded like metal on metal. Now,
Don't make me work you.
if you've got another pole you can stick between those studs to the ground, you'll be able to do this by hand. If not, you're going to have to use an impact. They must have some Loctite on there. I mean, I made sure that the top of the bolt was clean before I even tried this. I mean, it was tough. I had to stay on my impact. It's coming out. There we go. Now it starts to spin a little bit faster. Makes me happy when I see it spinning faster. Hell yeah, here it comes. I can imagine doing that by hand. Oh my God. Well, consider it a workout. Alright, so here, this is called the wheel bearing assembly, and because you're actually getting everything with it, you could just buy a bearing and go to a little shop somewhere, have them press it in. Sure, it costs you about $75 total, but it's worth it to have it already ready to go and know there's a warranty under it. And there's the best thing to do right there, is just use that medium extension. I tried a small one, I didn't have enough room. The smaller it is, the more torque you get on these things. But it wasn't so bad. You know, once you get it loose, you can use an impact drill, or any drill really, once it's loose, and just zip it out with your drill. This one right here is tricky. Now, this bolt that's here on the top, it was stripped, so I took this wrench, tapped it on there, and then I used another wrench to lift it to get it loose. Then I was able to take 2 wrenches and pull it and get it loose, and then take it off with my hand.
Are you making a video?
You make me one, please. There we go, untwisting it. Now leave this hanging right there. It's not going to come out because of the damn axle. They probably knew that. But if you take the other bolts off of it and you tap that off and you pry that front end off, that bolt will come forward, and it'll be a lot easier to just take it out if they give you a new bolt set with the new bearing set. Okay, now you got those other bolts out, you left that top one just hanging there loose. Take that bolt out and bend that plate. That plate, look at it, it won't come up. See, bam, bam, bam. Nope, it's not moving. But as soon as you bend that plate back, it'll pop right out. Nothing's impossible. Look at that, bent it way back. Whoa, yeah. Boy, rust really takes a toll on stuff. Pop, there it goes. Just leave it there. Just try not to hit it with the hammer or anything. Bam.
Okay, dinner's done, so
Thank you.
you're not making anything right now.
Alright, well, if you have a giant fork, it's not going to work right here. I put it in there just to check it out. I mean, it might at the bottom if you're going in a sideways angle, but for the top piece to get it started, you want this little impact one. The small one works really good. so you can use it to hammer on. And that happened to just open the gap up a little bit more for me. Keep hammering the shit out of this. Now, I'm not censoring this video, so you know, you're going to have to put up with that. And these things hold a lot of rust. Otherwise, this thing should have popped off already. This rust just binds them on here. Yeah, wait till you see the inside of it. While you're doing this, you're actually helping break the rust free from inside. It's grabbed itself a place to live, and it doesn't want to let go. God dang it. And got the gap started. Now we're going to move around in a circle and just start tapping it until it's all moving out a little bit. I had the WD-40 on the side just to see if I needed it, but it wouldn't have done any good because this is really deep in there. So as soon as you get a gap on one side, leave something in it and then start on the other side, and that kind of pulls everything forward and helps the rust break up inside, and it brings the hub assembly out. There's a good spot. Grab a good angle too, so you can, like, it's going right through it on the bottom. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, now we're getting somewhere. Look at that. Big old gap. Pop. There it is. Once in a while, you can take that axle and tap it in, and it'll give you a little more room, and it'll give you a little more looseness. But look at that rust. Solid rust in there. Man, that thing was awful. Look at that. Oh, and there it is. Now just get some grease and put some grease right around there. There we go. Squeeze that in there and rub it all the way around in a circle. Get that grease all over. Grease won't hurt here. It'll actually help keep the water out. On the back of this axle, I noticed the plate was gone, so there's a gap there, and that's how the water got in here. Now it's all prepped up. Just wipe that grease all over everything. God bless. Now just reverse everything and go to town, put everything back together, and you'll be good to go. Appreciate you joining me. Don't forget to subscribe. I've got other videos too. Feel free to walk through there and check them all out. Anyhow, y'all take care and have a good day.